Ford CEO Jim Farley has the American automobile manufacturing company on red alert with one of their most recent and phenomenally popular pickup truck models, the Maverick, drawing strong criticism and causing the industry titan to recall tens of thousands of the well-known brand off the market. What is the problem with the Ford Maverick, and how do these major issues jeopardize not only Ford's future, but you, the consumer? Join us as we explore the problems with one of Ford's most recent cars, the Ford Maverick. First things first, let's give credit where credit is due. Ford has undoubtedly been on a roll recently, dishing out quality automobiles such as the Ford Bronco, the Ford F-150 Lightning, and of course, the Ford Maverick Hybrid. Thanks to the recent introduction and incredible success of trucks like the 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz, the Ford Ranger, and the 2022 Ford Maverick, it appeared that compact pickup trucks were finally seeing a revival. The Ford Maverick has been insanely popular since its debut back in June of 2021. Ford initially introduced the modern hybrid Maverick to entice potential EV buyers. Customers were delighted to be provided with a cheap vehicle option that still manages to incorporate the latest EV technologies, and it was highly successful in that endeavor, as consumers were more than happy to ditch other brands and make the transition to Ford. I doubt Ford could foresee just how popular their newest model would become at the time. Fast forward to December of the very same year the truck was introduced, Ford was compelled to temporarily halt Maverick orders, with the initial suspension only applying to models with a hybrid engine, as supply simply couldn't keep up with demand, with anticipated wait times for people who ordered the Maverick stretching as far as 8 months. With the ever-growing popularity of the Maverick, all client orders for it would eventually be put on hold come January 2022. Ford's latest 2022 iteration of the Maverick comes with two different engine choices. With the base model sporting an impressive 2.5-liter hybrid engine, it has extremely high efficiency, particularly considering its small size of a truck. For those who value power over everything else, Ford's got you covered as well, with a 2.0-liter turbocharged engine. When designing the Maverick, Ford originally intended it to be a fuel-efficient, mass-marketed vehicle that looked fantastic and is enjoyable to drive, while somehow managing to keep it absurdly affordable with a relatively low price tag of just $20,000. Compare that to today's market, where a car deal usually sets you back as much as $50,000, and you begin to realize that owning a brand new pickup truck with a hybrid motor, all-wheel drive, tons of utilities, and plenty of fun features for a mere $20,000 seems too amazing to pass up. Not only was the Maverick criminally affordable, but for such a small truck, it packed some serious muscle power, being able to easily tow as much as 4,000 pounds. And that's not all. Ford even went above and beyond in making the Maverick highly customizable by encouraging Maverick customers to DIY their own accessories, making the Maverick highly configurable with an almost unlimited range of extras. With the aforementioned info, it's no wonder Ford's plan was a resounding success, with average buyers and EV enthusiasts alike flocking to get their hands behind the steering wheel of Ford's newest innovation. It really seemed nothing could go wrong, but not all is well and dandy, as the Ford CEO has a huge problem with the Maverick, with Ford recently launching a massive nationwide recall process of the popular pickup truck. To fully understand why the Maverick shortcomings are such a big problem, it's crucial to grasp Ford's plans for the future in order to fully appreciate why the Maverick's flaws pose such a serious issue. The CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, declared that the company planned to dominate the market for electric pickup trucks, hoping the release of the Maverick, which was initially well received, would put his company on the fast track to making these plans come to life. The original idea was to use the electric F-150 to help Ford gain traction in the competitive EV industry and prove that the company could compete with the best of them when it came to completely electric and hybrid pickup trucks. After the F-150 Lightning's release and subsequent success, everyone's opinion of Ford began to shift favorably, and Ford began to make big promises in an effort to live up to the now high expectations of a market that was eagerly anticipating Ford's next grand reveal. Unfortunately for Ford, this excited crowd it managed to amass within a fortnight began to disappear just as quickly. And why, do you ask? While Ford did manage to gain everyone's trust with their F-150 Lightning, all that trust was tossed out the window after the disastrous Ford Maverick. Another pickup truck made by the automobile maker suffered no less than 5 recalls so far, which is not only highly embarrassing for a company that's been around since 1903, but also compromises their plan to build trust and hurts their reputation with loyal customers. The problems with the truck were quite numerous, and to talk about all of them in detail would take forever. But just to name a few of the really big and more recent ones, the side curtain airbags could malfunction, according to a warning from the National Highway Safety Traffic Administration. In case you didn't know, side airbags are not only meant to prevent people from being thrown from the car in an accident, but also assist in softening side impacts, a dangerous thing to be releasing your products with, huh, Ford? According to Ford themselves, the side bags did initially pass internal tests conducted by Ford staff, but the NHTSA seems to disagree, as tests carried out by them reveal the Maverick's safety features fall awfully short of what is expected from a car released in 2022. Ford engineers even went back and retested the Maverick with a new batch of airbags, and surprise, surprise, they failed. The rear seat buckle was the subject of another recall for improper attachment. Although mechanically speaking, this isn't too horrible, it's still bothersome. In addition, problems with the Maverick's fuel tank led to, you guessed it, another recall, with some fuel tanks appearing to have sustained heavy damage, likely due to having holes drilled in them while installing the spray-in bed liner. This is a serious manufacturing flaw that could certainly result in a more catastrophic issue down the line. Also, due to the engine issues that resulted in fuel vapors being leaked into the hybrid engine compartment, the company was forced to issue yet another recall, later announcing 2 further recalls in August for brake concerns and gasoline tank leaks that could result in a longer stopping distance. The truck was even recalled due to a software issue, causing the electric or electric over hydraulic brake system to sometimes not operate correctly. Other somewhat less serious issues included things like growing complaints of owners regarding their paint chipping and their stickers being washed away during car washes, the truck's hood being highly prone to fluttering in the wind, the radio occasionally freezing, the Ford Pass app remote started making the engine run rich, the catalytic converter getting red hot for no apparent reason, the transmission shuddering and jerking when switching from gas to battery mode, and many, many more. Given all these problems, it would be the understatement of the year to claim that it's too early to predict how dependable the 2022 Ford Maverick will be. We'll just have to wait and watch how Ford responds to them, I suppose. After receiving an overwhelming amount of complaints, Ford had no other option but to pause on all ongoing future deliveries of new Mavericks until they sorted out this mess, recalling over 60,000 Ford Mavericks that all had at least a small collection of the previously mentioned problems. Ford stated that the recalls could only apply to Maverick models built between February 3rd and July 9th of 2022, and current owners would be contacted in September to arrange a replacement. However, as I mentioned earlier, this is the Ford Maverick's 5th recall so far, and the first one involving rear seatbelt buckles that may not be sufficiently fastened to the rear floor. Ford Motor Company issued a statement in which it said, "We recognize the inconvenience recalls cause our customers. We always take any action required to ensure their safety and improve quality and customer satisfaction. We are absolutely committed to launching products with top quality and addressing issues when we see them." You may think Ford's situation is really bad, but in reality, it's made much worse by the worrisome reports that more than 60% of purchasers of the new hybrid truck were done by customers who went from another automaker to Ford solely for the Maverick. This basically indicates that these customers aren't having a positive first experience with their brand, not to mention that being stuck with numerous recalls will undoubtedly have left customers with a bad taste in their mouths. They may not consider giving Ford a second chance in the foreseeable future after the awful first impression, causing them to consider switching back. Faced with the extraordinarily poor performance of the Maverick, Ford CEO Jim Farley found no other alternative other than to come out publicly and admit to his company's shortcomings, while promising to both investors and customers alike that the controversy surrounding the Maverick will be addressed as soon as possible. During a conference call with analysts, Jim Farley stated, "We continue to be hampered by recalls and customer satisfaction action. This affects our cost, but more importantly, it falls short on our most fundamental commitment to our customers." Attempting some form of damage control, the Ford CEO even took to Twitter, talking with fans and answering some questions while promising that all of the Maverick's problems would soon be addressed. The Ford Maverick is a pickup truck that appeals to buyers. That much is certain. People adore it for its cost-effectiveness and wonderful look. Here's hoping Ford will be able to keep its new customers and devoted followers satisfied if they can at least resolve their design flaws, because it truly is a pickup for the common folk and a car for the ordinary bloke. Do you believe Ford will be able to resolve its manufacturing problems in time to compete with other EV powerhouses like Tesla? Or did the automobile giant lose the race to dominate the EV market before it even began?